Welcome back to the channel, everybody, and I hope you're all doing well. So today we have CVC going on, as well as my Forge Pass. I just now finished that up. So CVC, the absolute perfect time to be doing forging because you're getting the points from forging the gear as well as points from actually upgrading the gear. So what I want to do in this video is, first off, I want to claim this. I want to go through, see what kind of results I get from basically 100 pieces of instinct gear being forged, and then talk about what kind of champions I plan to put this on, even as an in-game account. Now, I'm going to show you guys the, criteria I'm going to have when selling it just from the auto selling feature in RSL Helper. But let's check out these pieces. I'm hoping for speed boots. We have attack, flat. Literally all of this was wasted, okay? Flat gloves, flat chest plate, and flat boots. Great. Okay, we have crit rate, speed, and accuracy. That's a great piece, potentially a great piece. Accuracy is one of the stats I'm looking for, so it could be a decent piece. And it says crit rate, resistance, and accuracy. Resistance doesn't really matter. Crit rate and accuracy, I do like those, but these three are going to be instant sells. Now, with bottom row pieces, I'm not super interested in Chaos Ore. If it was like a really good set like Savage or Speed, if it was to quad roll, maybe I would Chaos Ore it then. But bottom row pieces have such a huge range of stuff they can turn out to be. It's not really worth it in my opinion. Let me share with you what I'm actually looking for in these instinct pieces of gear. So I'm looking for crit rate, crit damage, speed, accuracy. Defensive stats are nice to have, but I'm looking for mainly those stats that would make sense on champions like Coldheart, champions like Royal Guard, champions potentially like Septimus. Now, Seer is excluded from this because I use her for Doom Tower waves and dungeon waves that are not really affected by the enemy max HP damage cap. The bosses are affected by that, but the waves aren't. So champions like Royal Guard, champions like Coldheart, they're really only used in boss fights and Hydra. They're used in fights where the amount of enemy max HP damage you can deal is capped. So having those champions in my Savage gear, which could be potentially used on champions who aren't affected by that cap, would be very nice to get them out of this Savage gear because it's pretty decent stuff. Like this pair of speed boots have 20% crit damage. So some of these pieces are pretty nice. I would like to move these pieces off of my Coldhearts, off of my Royal Guard, but right now, I don't really have the gear to do so. So having this instinct gear, I'm hoping can free up some of these builds. Now, the one downside is I do have to bump the overall stats up because while Savage gear ignores 25% of enemies' defense, Instinct ignores 15%, but it does give me a little bit of extra speed. So I'm hoping that kind of balances each other out. I will need the accuracy, which granted, I don't need a ton of accuracy because I have accuracy banners. I have a very high level Great Hall anyways, so all that should be fine. But I'm looking to replace the gear on the champions who are basically affected by the enemy max HP damage cap, which is very select few champions. Coldheart, Royal Guard specifically are the main two I'm looking for, but Faction War champions who I want to do damage but don't want to put in Savage gear are very, very viable options as well. Now let's jump into the Forge part of the video, the actual meat and potatoes of the video. And I have 78 rank charms, 103 rarity charms. I'm not going to use any accessory or artifact slot charms, but I will use a substat charm. I'm going to use crit rate because I have a ton of crit rate charms. I have a decent amount of speed, but I'd rather use speed for the perception set. I think crit rate charms work very, very well for this because most champions wearing this gear are gonna need crit rate to go along with the defense ignore that already comes with the instinct gear as it is. I don't really care what pieces go here. Now I'm gonna forge 100 pieces, okay? So we're gonna open up RSL Helper over here and we're gonna do 100 pieces. So 100 runs essentially. And the reason why I'm not doing the full 200 or just doing 78 is first, I want to make just a flat 100 just to make it simple for the video. But I'm not doing more than that because after this, I'm going to have a decent stockpile of pieces. Maybe I got a ton of weapons and helmets, but I don't have any shield, or maybe I don't have any good pair of gloves. If that's the case, then I can come in here, select the gear pieces, and then like just focus on gloves or focus on something like that. Focus on trying to get boots. So I have the first 100 going through just open-ended, any pieces possible, and then the next 100 will ideally be focusing on specific pieces that I need because only having the materials from the Forge Pass is pretty unfortunate, to be honest, because once you do this, you really can't forge anymore. So like if you have a perfect 3-piece, but you're missing that one extra piece, it kind of sucks, even though broken pieces aren't the end of the world. Now, as far as the sell option goes, it has this pretty well customized. So basically, this is what it's going to be keeping and selling. Basically, boots, gloves, and chest plate. If it's accuracy, speed, or crit rate main stat, it's going to keep them. But everything else, it's going to sell all 5-star rare pieces, and then any 6-star piece period or below, 6-star rare or below, that doesn't have at least speed, accuracy, crit rate, or crit damage, it's going to sell as well. So a lot of these pieces are going to be sold. I only want to go through the pieces that may possibly be rolled up. If I have something that's HP percentage, defense percent, and attack percent on an epic weapon, I'm probably never going to use that piece. Granted, there is a slight chance it could roll into something beneficial from Chaos Ore. I just don't think instinct gear is really worth it to be using your Chaos Ore. So I'm gonna hide my webcam and let's go do some gear rolling. So I'm gonna press play on RSL Helper, and you'll see in the background it's gonna craft the piece. It's gonna check for the requirements. It met the requirements there, so it kept the piece. Even though it was a flat main stat on the gloves, that's no big deal. I'm gonna have to sell those after this run. All right, guys, now the pieces are finished forging, except for the fact that I realized as the forging was going through, one, I didn't have crit damage gloves accepted, so they were all being sold. I fixed that, and crit damage gloves were all being kept no matter of the main stat. Though most likely, if they don't have crit rate, they're probably not going to be actually used anyways. But the second thing I realized is that I kept all the flat stat gloves, boots, and chest plates. So it shows I have 76 pieces to go through, but in reality, we have 76 minus, let's see, 76 minus 15. Okay, so not terrible, but we're not going to use any of the flat HP, flat attack, or flat defense pair of gloves or anything like that, right? So now that we sold all the flat stat pieces of gear from the gloves, boots, and chest plates, we have about 61 pieces of gear that met the requirements that I set inside of RSL Helper. And yeah, let's go ahead and see what we got going on here. So boots, I'm looking for speed, HP, attack percentage, defense percentage. Those are all fine as long as they at least have crit rate. If it's defense or HP percentage with no crit rate, no speed, it's not gonna be that useful. We have a 6-star speed boot with crit rate, very, very nice. Crit rate there, 6-star. 6-star are the ones I'm really looking for. Honestly, the 5-star ones I'm probably never gonna use. Defense percent with some speed and attack percent, I don't need that. Speed 5-star with no crit rate or crit damage, or speed, or obviously it's not gonna have speed substat, but no crit rate, crit damage, I'm not gonna use that, or no accuracy. The defense percent possibly could be used, but I'm not looking for possibly. This could definitely be decent. I mean, it's a limited set, so I'm gonna keep this piece of gear here. The chest plates, let's see what we got. Accuracy, not really the best. Resistance, I don't know why it even, I guess it kept because of the speed. I'll keep that. The accuracy one, it's not that good. No speed, nothing. So it's kind of useless, honestly. The chest plates, very, very low on those, but we can always use the gear charms later on to try to get some good chest plates. Now the gloves, let's see what we got. Crit rate, we'll keep it just in case. Crit rate as well, just in case, same thing. 6-star crit rate. If we have another pair, I'll just sell those other ones. Defense percent with crit rate and crit damage. This isn't great because typically if you're going to go defense percent, you'd rather have like speed or accuracy or something like that. This set isn't really a support set anyway, so we're looking for crit rate, crit damage, things like that. More damage dealer stats, but I'll keep it just in case, okay? I want to see what else I get. The attack percentage, both of these could be sold. This does have speed on it, so maybe it could make sense. Possibly just for a broken set piece with the speed. HP percent with defense flat and crit rate, don't like that at all. The shields, let's look at the 6-star ones first. We got a decent stockpile of shields, I like that. So the shields go crit rate, speed, accuracy, it's a beautiful piece. Crit rate there, speed, crit rate, and HP percentage, very, very nice shield there as well. And then we have this one, which is crit rate, crit damage, and HP, very solid also. Crit rate, let's see, this one basically useless. We have a very good stockpile of 6-star shields. So these ones probably going to be sold, most of the 5-star ones, unless it has crit rate and speed. But if it doesn't have those two together, I'm not going to keep it. So crit rate, crit damage, don't need it. We have a 6-star version of the same thing. Speed alone, don't really need it. Crit rate and speed, we'll keep it. Crit rate, crit damage, same thing. Don't really need that. We got very good shields, to be honest. Now the helmets, let's see what we got here. Same thing as the shields. We're looking for very similar stats. Accuracy, attack doesn't really make a ton of sense. Crit rate, we'll keep it. Speed, accuracy, we'll keep that for the speed. Very, very solid. The accuracy was a stat that if it had it, I would like it, but if not, not a huge deal. Most of the champions wearing this set aren't really going to need accuracy, I don't believe. Crit rate and defense, very solid. Attack and crit rate. Some speed on the 5-star. We'll keep some of these, but most of these 5-stars are just gonna be sold unless it's a perfect breakdown. Now, the pieces that I'm selling may not be what you would sell on your account, because some of these pieces could definitely be good on a lot of people's accounts. Now the weapons, last but not least, crit rate and accuracy. Crit rate, speed are the highest valued sets. This is a very, very good piece for me. The HP percentage may not be great because the champions I'm equipping it on may not need that. But definitely for some faction war options, it's very solid. Crit rate and crit damage. Resistance, kind of dead stat there. But I'm really looking for these triple crit rate rolls, because nukers, damage dealers are going to be the main ones wearing this set. People who can benefit from the 15% defense ignore. Crit rate attack, very nice. Crit damage and attack percentage, I don't know why piece was even kept, to be honest. Oh, I guess because I have crit damage as a stat that gets kept. Don't really need that though. We have a lot of better options. Crit rate, no speed there. I really need some speed. Even though it does have speed in the set, I really do want speed as much as I can throughout the pieces. These other ones, this has speed. Everything else is fine. Okay, so we're gonna sell these pieces. So we sold 23. So now that we have a total of 38 pieces kept out of the total of 100 forged, I'm gonna go through here and roll most of these pieces to 8 or 12 and then come back and tell you guys which piece I'll be keeping or which piece I'll be selling. And maybe we even get some quad rolls. I'll roll some to 16 if it's worth it, but I'll go through there. I'll give you guys the breakdown on why I stopped where I did, so on and so forth. So I'll be right back once I finish some of these rollings. So I've gone through and leveled up everything to 4, 8, 12, and then 16, depending on how the substats rolled, determined on if I want to keep it or not. If they rolled pretty well, I've taken everything to 16 that I plan on keeping. So everything that's not 16 is not going to be kept. Now, some of these pieces may be kept on some accounts, but these pieces just, they don't really have space in my account. Most of these pieces, like this piece right here, for example, on a lot of accounts may be used, right? Double HP percentage, 1 crit rate roll, but the pieces that I've rolled and in comparison, I'm just not gonna be using this piece. The 5-star ones, I was very, very picky on because just most 5-star pieces, I'm just simply not gonna use. This crit rate and attack percentage, I believe I had another one that rolled just better substats. This weapon had flat HP as the first substat. I'm probably not gonna use this piece. I have plenty of weapons in this set so far to use. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I'm probably not gonna equip that many champions with it. Piece right here could be potentially a good chaos ore piece. It could benefit from accuracy, speed, crit rate, crit damage, possibly even attack percentage. So I'll probably use some chaos ore on this if I ever get some that's 6-star and epic. I don't want to use a legendary chaos ore on it, but I do think this is a potentially solid option. Though the instinct sets, I would be very particular on which ones I use it on. I definitely wouldn't use it on any bottom row pieces because those could change the main stats and just make it completely useless. Since there's so few stats that are going to be usable, in my opinion, from my account, in this set. So this helmet right here is just kind of spread out. This was kind of questionable if I kept it or not, but I did end up keeping it. The 5, 8, 8. We're gonna sell all these, all the 12s, all these 8s. Some of these gloves just rolled so bad. They could have been pretty decent, but just double roll into the flat defense, useless. Flat defense, useless again. This really needs speed, accuracy, HP percentage, something like that. Something along those lines to make this more usable. The defense percent with crit rate, just not gonna be that usable majority of cases. This pair of gloves right here, similar thing, 5-star. 5-star crit rate just got to be very, very good for me to want to use them on my account. This pair of gloves, honestly, I don't even know why I kept it in the first place. This chest plate resistance actually did double roll speed. Now, this won't be for a set piece whatsoever, but it could make for a pretty solid broken piece because resistance chest plates, you don't always have to fit them in a set. They could definitely work well in a broken set. And then we have these boots, which actually rolled pretty daggone well. So we have double crit rate roll and attack percentage boots. Very, very nice. We have double flight attack, which is not good. The speed, honestly, if this wasn't speed boots, I would have sold it. But we do have crit rate and crit damage for the substats and some HP percentage, so I went ahead and kept it. These other 2 boots rolled pretty decent, but honestly, I wish this pair would have rolled double crit rate, but it didn't, unfortunately. And this pair, actually for a 5-star epic, rolled pretty well. Double crit rate, 16% crit rate, very, very solid in my opinion. So we have 21 pieces being sold from this mess. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 pieces. So the Forge Pass gives us 200 pieces worth of materials to forge, and we only forged 100. We have basically $10 if you're just going by the $20 Forge Pass value, basically $10. So we had 17 pieces. $10 divided by 17 pieces would be about 58 cents per kept piece. All right, so let's take a look at the pieces that were actually kept. I'm not going to break down every single one of these pieces. It would take too much extra time, but I'll click on each one of the pieces. So the weapons are first. Some of these rolled very, very well. Some of them are a little bit questionable. This one's a little bit questionable, but the crit rate's very nice. Only triple roll we got, which I'm very excited to have. Got in a triple roll, but I was kind of hoping for more. I mean, the only triple roll is actually beneficial. This helmet has a triple roll as well, but it's probably going to be Chaos Sword in the future if we have enough from whatever events, tournaments are in the future with Chaos Sword included. So these are the pieces. Some of these are very good. Some of them are going to be used in the Cold Heart build we're about to do. Some of them may not be used for a long time, to be honest, but some of these will definitely fit very well on Cold Heart. And speaking of, let's go ahead and start building the Cold Heart right now. So this is the Cold Heart we're going to be building. She's currently in Savage gear at 210 speed. We're going to try to keep that about the same. She needs 70% crit rate. Accuracy needs to be about 200 plus, ideally like 220, perfectly fine. So really just speed, crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy. Now, one thing I have to keep in mind when switching from Savage to the Instinct gear is the fact that we're going to have less defense ignore. So going over here to this sheet right here, I'm gonna leave a link to this down below, but basically I can plug in all the information we need. Spider Stage 25, we're not using Savage. We're essentially using 3 Cruel sets because Cruel, if we go over here and look at Cruel gear, they don't actually have Instinct in the plugins right there, but Cruel ignores 5% of defense, so we're ignoring 15%, so 5 times 3 is 15%. So we're going to do 3 Cruel sets. So basically what I need is a minimum of 234 crit damage for my Cold Heart to do the max amount of damage against Spider Stage 25. That's assuming we don't have Weaken or Defense Down applied. Obviously, if you have those applied, it's going to be a lot different. So let's go ahead and do this. It should be a pretty quick switch because we can use any of these instinct pieces, and I don't think it's gonna be that difficult to actually make this make sense and work out in our favor. So remember, Cold Heart only needs 70% crit rate for this to actually make sense, so we don't have to go super hard with these crit rate pieces. I'm really looking for crit damage, accuracy. Those are the main things I want to get because crit damage is going to be pretty, or crit rate, sorry, is going to be pretty easy to get when you only need 70% total. So I'm going to try to grab some of this. Oh, and speed. Speed is very, very important for Cold Heart as well because she needs to be at least 210 for Spider Stage 25 in my team. She can be a little bit faster, I do believe. No problem. She just needs to be between 210, I think 240, somewhere around there. Should be perfectly fine. Let's throw some pieces together and see what we can get. Now, this piece right here could be really good, but I think it's kind of wasted on Cold Heart because she doesn't need that 60% crit rate with these already pretty good crit rate pieces we have. So I'm gonna throw this piece on her. Now, the gloves we have on her right now are crit rate, so we're gonna go to crit damage. We don't need any crit rate substats from these crit damage gloves, but speed would be very nice, accuracy would be very nice. Let's actually do that, some speed or accuracy. We're not gonna be able to use anything from the instinct set, unfortunately, because we didn't get very many crit damage gloves from there, but these frost pieces may work very, very well also. Now we just need a glove or a shield or a chest plate. The speed's looking good, the accuracy's looking good, the crit damage is looking good and in the range that I need it to be. Let's go down here to the instinct set and see if we can throw this on there. We lose a little bit. Actually, this may be perfect actually. 73% crit rate, 239% crit damage, good accuracy, good speed. Go over here to the sheet. We need at least 234 crit damage for this Cold Heart to be hitting her max numbers. And I think that's exactly what she's doing. Now we're going to take this chest plate off. This is a accuracy chest plate with some decent speed on it. We don't need this Savage set. I'm actually trying to get away from the Savage gear on this Cold Heart. So switching off of this is going to be perfect. Picking up some more crit damage would be very nice as well. Accuracy and Swift Parry is not really a needed stat for anybody else. So we're going to go ahead and move that over. We have more accuracy, much more crit damage. Everything's looking good here. Now let's take this Cold Heart over to Spider Stage 25 and see if she is hitting for the same amount as all of the other Cold Hearts are. Hopefully you guys could see those stats just now when I was going through that. If not, I apologize, but let's see. So Cold Heart, I believe 1 is what we just redid. We can see by these stats here. So Cold Heart, this one right here, Cold Heart number 1, she's gonna be the last Cold Heart to go of the 3 Cold Hearts. So let's see. They should all be hitting for 773,000 damage, more or less, I do believe. So let's see. Crypt King Girl, this is gonna be a pretty fast run. I'll actually hide myself so you guys can see it a little bit better. Here we go. So Cold Heart number 1 is about to go with her Heartseeker. 773,000, 773, and 773. So all the Cold Hearts are hitting for the peak amount of damage. We're using the Instinct gear we just now forged. We freed up some Savage gear. So in my opinion, the Forge Pass, at least for this, was very worth it. Now that's not talking whatsoever about if the Forge Pass was good as far as Plarium implementing it instead of the Battle Pass. I much more prefer the Battle Pass, but as far as a gear set, I think the Instinct set has very solid use for select champions, okay? The Cold Heart, it's slotted in perfect. I'm gonna continue to try to free up some more of the Savage Gear champions inside my account. I'm hoping to free up this other Cold Heart. This set does look pretty cool though. Like just as a look of the set, I really like it. I think it looks awesome. And the benefits of the speed definitely helped out. I would love to free up these 2 Cold Hearts as well. I may be able to do that right now, but guys, let me know if you forged some of this Instinct set, how'd it go for you? Did you get some good pieces? What happened? But thank you all very much for watching the video. I hope you all enjoyed. Hopefully it gave you some perspective, and I will catch you all in the next one.